show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we talk about everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I also have another YouTube channel called Latina Diaspora, where I talk about issues pertaining to Latinos. The link to that channel is in the description. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, I need to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled, meaning that if you are not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate your love and support. Also, want to send a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you're not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. I apologize for the early start. It's just normally this stream would have gone live at 9:30. So the reason why, because my type of daughter, Denise Gonzalez, will be live tonight on her channel, which is Latin's Explaining TV, when she's going to be talking about the situation with the the undocumented and the ICE agents. So I would encourage you to check out the stream. So as a result, I'm going to try to keep this stream no more than an hour, 75 minutes max. So there will not be a backstage tonight, and I'm going to ask if people make closing remarks, please make them short. The last thing I need is someone making a 25-minute closing remarks. Okay, and so I'm going to have to insist on that. So as you can see by the thumbnail, the description and the topic for tonight is what is the circus? Okay, so we're going to discuss what it means. But before we do that, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Now, there's been a great deal of talk lately regarding the situation with the undocumented, and also the situation regarding ICE is now conducting waves and things like that, going into places of employment and things like that of that nature. it is a difficult topic to discuss, and I get it. But one thing we have to bear in mind is is the fact that we do have people who come to this country illegally. Okay, I mean, I get it that people are trying to. Some people might be trying because they're trying to flee from their situation. But one thing, um, which is a valid point, which is the situation may be bad in your country, but my question is, what are you trying to do to try to fix the situation there? Okay, it's very okay. You know, it's one thing when you decide to pack up your stuff and leave and enter this country, whether it be through legal channels or through illegal channels. It's another thing when you try to resolve the issues of your own country. That's that that takes a lot of time, and sometimes it can take courage, particularly when you have a government which is very anti its citizen. Okay, but the reality is this: we cannot save the entire world. We cannot save and rescue every person that's come over here. Okay, and people, whenever situation when either people come in illegally or people that come in legally but they overstay their visas. Okay, the fact of the matter is each country, like it or not, has a right to control its borders, has a right to control regarding who enter this country and who does not. Okay, and each country has the right to set its own policy regarding who they're going to let in and under what circumstances. Okay. Well, we hope that it will be an equitable system. Okay, which a person, if they truly want to enter the United States legally. Okay. I mean, I know for a fact. I have visited um, 5 countries. I have visited Canada, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, Panama, and Colombia. Okay. However, I enter those countries legally. Okay. And how did I do that? First of all, when I enter those countries, of course, I have to stop by the immigration services, present my passport or and visa if necessary, and then I'll have to answer some questions regarding what is the nature of my visit. And then once um, the equipment of immigration services, gives me approval, then I'm allowed to enter the country legally. Okay, and of course I got to abide by whatever set of laws that the country has to follow. It's a reality. Okay, there's one thing we have to bear in mind when we are entering another country, whatever country. We are a guest, assuming we enter the country legally. Okay, we cannot act like things over there is going to function. Things are not in this country. No. Okay. One thing we have to understand that in each country they have different guidelines. They have different social mores. They have different policies that we all need to follow. And we expect the same thing when anyone comes to visit this country. Okay. First of all, they have to make sure that they have the proper credentials, meaning they have a valid passport. If they needed a visa, have a visa. And then they need to answer questions as far as why they're in this country. Okay. And as a general rule, when you go through the process of enter a country legally, you got to present your credentials, and then you're going to answer questions. Okay. And of course, they're going to check and make sure that you're not carrying anything illegal, which is contraband, whether it be um, drugs. When I mean drugs, I mean the illegal drugs, or things that can bring harm to their country. That's the reality. Okay, and it's perfectly natural. And to be honest, each country needs to do this because they need to make sure that people like myself who are going to visit is not going to do any harm. And then once you are visiting the country, do what you can to make the blend in. Okay, but and of course it will help if you actually spend some time learning about the country that you are visiting. Okay, whether it be through YouTube, sometimes the countries that you're visiting, they will provide useful information regarding what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and of course we can always check with our State Department because there's certain countries that, in all fairness, we should not visit for multiple reasons, whether it be because it has to do with a lot of crime, whether it be a political uppress or things of that nature. So these are things that we all need to bear in mind. So each country, like it or not, has the right to dictate how they're going to regulate the people coming in. Okay. And for those people who violate those guidelines, who violate it's it's they're committing criminal activity. They have the right to imprison their people under their penal system and to deport them. Okay. Now, I hope I do hope that when it comes to deporting these people, that that is done in the most humane manner possible. Okay. Now, I was going to share with you what to do in case you are having an encounter with agents of ICE. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to say that for another stream because um, well, most of us don't have to worry about that, but we do have friends um, that need to be aware how they conduct themselves. Okay. And the bottom line is when we deal with law enforcement, you be respectable. You do not argue. Okay. Also, when they ask you questions, you're going to answer questions directly. It has been my philosophy, I believe, if you do that, basically things will go well. So, with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit the link and opine regarding the topic in hand, they may do so. Again, let me just state for the record that if I've never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that no one flashes anything inappropriate, which would cause the people of YouTube to take down this stream. Okay. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying, Jose, you repeat the same thing all the time. I have to repeat it because, first of all, there's always new people that come here, number one. And number two, they need to understand that this is this is this is my cyber home. I need to do whatever is possible to make sure that everything is trauma free and drama free. So, of course, I'm going to insist on some things. If I know you, you don't have to come up. If I don't know you, yes, you're going to have to come up in the backstage. I don't compel people to come up unpack. But yes, if I don't know you, you are going to count up in the backstage, or else you're not going to be allowed to unpack. So now, let's talk about the 64,000 question. What is the circus? The circus, it's my term for a collective of individuals. Okay. And we all know who, we dealt with such individuals that that love to cause trauma, that loves to bring trauma, that loves to bring bad vibes, that cannot argue with logic, that treat their own spaces, respective spaces, as an echo chamber. And heaven forbid if you have a different point of view than they have, because they get very defensive and they get very insulting. So that is my turn. Now, in the outside world, we all will deep down and will dealt with individuals that we know that just love to create trauma. That they can't, no, they can't, they love chaos. They cannot function in an environment when everything is peaceful. They have to be the center of attention. And they also try to elicit a response. Okay. Some of these, what I would call, is attention-seeking whores. Okay. Which basically, these are people that will do anything or say anything to try to elicit a response. Okay, that's one characteristic. They will say anything or do anything that elicit a response. I'm going to see if I can count them up. Okay. I don't count them up, but I figured tonight I will count them up. It's just that sometimes my Wi-Fi gets a little jinky, and in any case. Also, what's characterized regarding the circus is that it's full of people who are immature, whether it be emotionally immature, psychologically immature. Also, these are individuals that have gone through some sort of trauma. Now, I am not a trained therapist, so I'm not going to diagnose it. But I can say that based on the conduct that certain individuals have illustrated, it would seem that they experienced some trauma. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that in this stream, I am not going to mention anyone in specific regarding who is a member of the circus. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, people get very defensive when they get called out for their fluffery. Also, people tend, once you mention their names, they go to devote entire streams about you where they call you everything but a child of God. So I prefer not to go through all of that. Now, I have to keep it real. I have people who hate watch. Okay. And I'm sure there might be one or two people hate watching as I speak, and then listening carefully, waiting for the opportunity to create a stream regarding something that I said or something that appeared to have said, and take it out of context. So the best way to defeat this is not to mention anyone specific. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be sharing characteristics regarding what I call the circus. So first, as I stated, they are both emotionally and psychologically immature. They're not able to address items with logic, with reasoning, with a certain level of intelligence. Okay. Now, here on social media, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Instagram, whether it be X, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, uh, or any other type of social media, you have people who act very immature. Good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much for listening. I'm not gonna stay long because I'm gonna be catching another string in about an hour. But I appreciate it, and let me okay. And what I'm gonna ask, if you have not done so, please check out Golden Goddess's channel. Okay, she has a new channel that she created a lot of content, a lot of it in the form of videos. One thing I have to say about her, she's very creative. So I'm gonna ask you to please show some love and check out her content. So we have people who act immature. Another characteristic that these people have is they bring up beefs that went on 2, 3 years ago. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome anytime. I mean, what they try to do is they try to bring you into beefs um, that you was involved 2, 3 years ago. And this is okay. This is my philosophy. Okay, yeah, I'll have a disagreement. Yes, I have an argument. Okay, but I don't believe in believing the point further. Okay, I will say what I need to be said, and if I can, I'll try to address it preferably outside of social media. Uh, I know there are people that for whatever reason that they use social media to address beefs and things of that nature. If they want to do it on their platforms, that's perfectly fine with them. That's not my way. That's not my way because I believe when it comes to um, issues, I try to resolve it in private. Okay. Now, if the situation is I cannot resolve it, then guess what? Then we have to go our separate ways. And it happens. It happens. There are times that look, there have been issues that I have been able to resolve with individuals, whether it be other content creators or whether it be people that I know outside of social media. And then there's those that, for whatever reason, the only resolution is just to go your separate ways. Okay. And one thing, and I said this before, and I'll say it again: forgiveness does not mean restoration. Okay. I define the forgiveness is that when you reach the ability um, to record something that happened to you, whether it be in word or action, and by recalling the situation, does not bring pain to you. That is forgiveness. Okay. And sometimes it's better just to forgive and not restore any relationships because people are too toxic. That's another characteristic regarding um, the collectors of circus is you have a lot of toxicity. Okay, um, they cannot operate in peace. They cannot operate in a logical way. Okay. And you can see it. Okay, if you have any reasonable amount of intelligence, you can tell who are the people that are able to resolve issues and maintain a certain amount of decorum. and then those that for whatever reason uh, cannot be resolved, and the best thing is just to go your separate ways. Okay. I've had to go my separate ways with certain individuals when I see that those issues cannot be resolved, where we aren't able to reach some sort of a consensus. Okay. Because life is too short to belabor over things, okay, where both parties are not prepared to approach it with some amount of maturity. And another thing that characterizes regarding uh, the circus is the lack of accountability. Okay. Good evening, Georgia. Thank you very much, second, for stopping by. Now, here's an interesting comment. And once you two do, you two can actually go each other's separate ways. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. I don't believe in bearing grudges. First of all, the problem is when you bear a grudge, first of all, it creates mental. I did read it, and once you two go to you two, go, I mean, we go each other's separate ways. Yes, I have read it. Okay. Um, what was my train of thought? Okay, yeah. You have certain individuals. Okay, okay. Yeah. I mean, certain individuals, for whatever reason, are, are incapable of taking accountability. Okay. Uh, Part of it could be that they never see the need to take accountability for their actions. Okay. I can only speak for myself. Okay. There have been times where I had said things. Okay. There are times I've said things or I've done things where I regret, and I have taken accountability for my actions. The problem is when you have people in who are part of the circus, they're not able to take accountability for their actions. Okay. And there's really not that much you can do. Anyone that's unable or unwilling to take accountability for their actions, the best thing you can do is just go your separate ways. Now, I see here we have a guest, so let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the show. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views that people may hold may be offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now I'm going to bring in my guest. Good evening, Georgia.
Hey, good evening, Jose. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's great to hear, though. But like I said in the chat, I was saying to read my comment above that comment, though. It was actually a lot deeper because I still firmly believe that it's in the works, and I cannot wait for it to come to fruition. And
Yeah.
remember, it's still going to happen on my channel, okay? And I think it's going to go very well.
Okay. Well, like I said it before, as long as it's not on my platform, it's fine.
It won't be. It won't be.
Okay.
You and Zach are going to pretty much seek closure and be very civilized and mature about it. And I would for sure ensure that he meets those expectations as well. I'm going to be monitoring it. and I can't wait for it to, come to fruition, because it's just going to be the right thing to do. And just much like how you have been saying, it doesn't mean everybody's going to hold hands and sing some kumbaya, but you're going to get it, and so is Zach.
Yeah.
And plus, since he is really much all about his faith and everything, I would hope that he would understand things like repentance. So it'll be on my channel. Just remember that. My channel, not yours, because we already know where you stand on that, Jose, and that has to be respected. So it'll be on my channel in God's perfect timing, okay?
Yeah. And for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the reason why we're having this discussion, is because there was an individual who appeared on this platform who had decided to, and I'm being as Christian as possible, act not very Christ-like, and
it caused a
made
huge
some,
circus too,
huh?
and it caused a huge circus as well.
Yes. He made certain accusations about me being racist, and which is bizarre considering the fact that, first of all, out of all my content, I have not said anything racist. And if you take a look at the people who are my mods, it's like it was like a mixed collection. In fact, Georgia is one of my mods. Gigi is one of my mods. I have different types of people. So, and when he was given the opportunity to substantiate his claim, obviously he could not. And then, in a sense of goodwill, I extended another opportunity when they hop on the stream, okay, and our friends, so to speak, when he makes further false accusations about me. And it is
Everything
unfortunate.
went south from there, and it was very catastrophic, and we know that. So that's why I'm going to be the moderator / mediator, and I'm going to be the one to make sure everybody is in check in a civilized fashion. It'll be on my channel. So when that time comes, I'll send you the link, and I'm going to send Zacharias the link. And yes, if anybody gets out of hand, you get muted. But I obviously know you, Jose. You tend to exercise good self-control. But we have to be fruitful in this. So therefore, I'll make sure that Zach, understands and respects the rules and boundaries. Because yes, I am aware of his mental health challenges, but I will for sure let him know, because he at least has a good capacity to understand the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's
Well,
not going to be any circus that happens, because I don't put up with stuff like that on my platforms.
yeah,
So I got you.
yeah. But we shall see. Now, my understanding that basically he's laying low for reasons that we cannot discuss here.
Yeah, and that's perfectly understandable, which is why, it's not going to happen like anytime soon. But I see it happening, and once it happens, I'm just making it very clear as to how it's going to go down. And yes, it's not going to happen on your channel.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think I'm extending about as much grace as I can. I mean,
Well, yeah, because there are going to be some people who wouldn't even be willing to even come onto my panel, even though they don't, even though I'm the one who is allowing people to come up there and, settle the differences in a civil fashion.
yeah.
Spirit filled too,
Mm-hmm. But one of the things. Okay, one of the characteristics is for my collective, which is the circus, is the inability to take accountability for your words or actions, which we see that there are certain individuals that unfortunately fall into this category.
Well, when it goes down, I'm going to make sure that everybody takes a great deal of personal accountability. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any purpose in me hosting such. And
Yeah.
everybody's going to have to openly confess about where they went wrong.
Okay.
And you can demonstrate that, Jose. And I think that Zach has that potential to do so as well.
Well, time will tell whether that is the case. I'm not going to say anything further than that because obviously I cannot enter into his psyche and ascertain what he might think or do or don't think. Okay, and I wouldn't presume to think on his behalf.
Yeah. And also, it wouldn't just go for you and Zacharias, it goes for everybody else. Hey, Gigi. But yeah, if anybody, I think that we should, you know, start looking into becoming conflict managers, and I'm pretty good at that. And so, anybody in the sector has any personal grievances towards one another, come to me and let's set up the meeting on my live.
Okay.
And you and Zacharias are possibly going to be the first, maybe.
Hopefully, we won't be the last.
I doubt it. But then again, it does require a lot of self-reflecting. Gigi says, "When are you going live?" Well, when he is ready to come out of the shadows, then we will get it going.
Mhm.
But I'll let
Actually,
you guys know.
yeah. Actually, speaking about going live, our friend Denise is going to be live tonight.
Yeah, regarding controversial executive order that gives ICE the rights to go into sanctuary cities and do what they do.
Yeah. Well, I talk about that briefly in my words segment, and one thing we all have to bear in mind whenever we're visiting another country, we have to abide by their rules, and we have to make sure that we enter the country legally.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to 2 countries so far. I have been to Mexico. I had a wonderful time. And I've also visited Jamaica too. And I also was in Mexico during a time in which they had very strict immigration policies to where if you cross there illegally, then the consequences would be pretty bad, probably worse than the US's punishments.
Yeah.
Because then down there, you have to deal with all the police corruption and then people wanting to take advantage.
Hmm. Yeah. One thing that we all have to bear in mind that each country has a right to regulate who enters the country, and they have to make sure that whoever enters this country is not going to cause any difficulty for its citizenry.
Yeah, every country has that right, though. It's just you do have that certain element in the woke crowd that pretty much wants to make every single thing about race, when in fact
Yeah.
they are not really going to talk about like another country which happens to function very similarly when it comes to immigration issues.
Yeah.
Because that issue is also even happening in South Africa too, where a lot of South Africans are just feeling a lot of resentment towards a lot of Zimbabwean immigrants who are also coming in. And I guess according to the South Africans, I guess they're feeling that immigrants are hurting their economies or taking the jobs. So
Hmm.
it's pretty much like a global issue and not so much of a national issue.
Yeah. Well, of course, part of the controversy is that the fact that we do have a new president in Donald Trump, and he's about as he's about as popular as a how can I say this, as a lady in the evening in church. But,
He for sure is. He may have ran as a Republican, but he is very much in that category of being a populist, is what he is. He's more of a populist than anything else, though. He just had to run as a Republican because he had to do so in order to win. But overall, his actual label / status is a populist.
yeah, but
But a lot of people are not going to care so much about other places because it doesn't directly affect them.
true. Now, do you have any things you wish to say regarding the circus, or do you need me to define what do I mean by the circus?
No, I pretty much get the definition of the circus, but like I said earlier, though, the way that I'm going to handle that is also transform my channel into a conflict resolution channel too. So therefore, if you two have some beef, come over to Georgia, or I'll host a live, and then you two settle it maturely and in a civilized fashion and amicably go each other's separate ways in humility.
Mhm.
And I will strictly enforce that. And if people can't really do that because they want to be up in their flesh and their emotions, go away. Because I tried doing that too. Like I've tried to resolving it with somebody who I will not share her name. But it did
Okay.
not really go that well on Discord at all, though. It did not, though. So let's fast forward nearly 2 years later. It's either going to be resolved in humility or don't talk to me or don't come up.
Yeah. I had a conflict with someone in Discord. Of course, I'm not going to mention the individual's name. I did try to address it with this individual. The individual saw fit not to respond. So basically, the way I resolved the issue was just to go my separate way.
Yeah, and that's the least that you can do because whoever this person may be, though, it wasn't really in his or her heart to really go down that route, though. But let's just say if this person comes up and wants to, show everybody how you can humbly resolve like a nasty conflict that happened back then and truly seek like closure, then come over to me and I could set up the interview. I'll be the mediator. Don Armando will be like my co-mediator, and we'll go from there. And it'll be a special honor to transform my platform into conflict resolution channel.
And I can rest assure you that I will be cordial. If the situation does warrant it, if necessary, I would remove myself because I'm not going to be, get emotional, what have you, because I respect your platform too much.
Yeah, man, and the feelings are mutual. But I think that's just the route that I'm going to go down from now on, though. So it does, like I said, it doesn't have to be just applicable to just you and Zacharias. It goes for everybody else. Because after all, you have to show that you are somebody who knows how to evolve and change and learn from mistakes and just take ownership of the stuff that you did wrong, though, learn from it and make it into something better,
Yeah.
So, we do know that, you had the emotional outburst at first, though, but that was a while ago. So, I mean, that's already said and done, but what about the new you? So we always got to show that we can just evolve like a true Catholic.
Well, I mean, look, one thing that I've said before, and I'll say it again, I'm a work in progress. Okay.
Here.
Okay. I'm not the same person that I was then. Okay. Um, I've learned how to deal with individuals who tend to be disruptive, basically just excommunicate them from the platform.
Yeah. I mean, aren't we still all a work in progress though? Because as long as you're a spirit in a physical vessel, problems are always going to come up though. But can you take ownership
Yeah.
of it though, and just keep it going until it's time to go to our graves? That's just the way that it should be. That's the way it should function.
Yeah.
But it just really depends on like the other person though, because I can admit that some people are not really quite ready for that though, because they're just going to be more in their flesh and their emotions than in the good spirit.
Yeah. I mean,
But even in Mike, sorry, go on.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what I was about to say is that even in my case, so like even if you are somebody who was saying probably some of the most like egregious stuff about me or whatever, I would still be willing to appear on a public panel with you though and peacefully resolve it because that's what real grown men do. Now, does it mean that we'll hold hands and sing some kumbaya? Probably not, but I'm a grown man, and a true grown man knows how to humbly resolve a conflict with somebody who has some serious personal grievances towards me or vice versa. It's just a matter of whether he
Hmm.
or she wants to reciprocate that or not. But with a couple folks I'm thinking
Hmm.
about, they're probably not ready for that, but I'm right here when they are. They know how to hit me up. I'll be waiting patiently.
Well, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but there's been certain individuals which I had issues with. I have extended an olive branch. If they're willing to discuss it, they can just they'll be fine as long as they keep it respectable. To this point, they have not chosen to take advantage, but they're the ones that have the issue. No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm very, 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 very reachable. You can find me easily on Facebook, my TikTok. You can leave a comment either on one of my videos here or on my community tabs that where I'm very active on, or the person could just comment right below and let's just actually come up right now. No matter who you are, please, you could be somebody who actually hates me with a passion. I'll listen to you and I'll hear you out, even if I may not agree. So that's how we're going to play by, but it looks like they don't really want to do that. So I'm still going to be here whenever they're ready, so
Well,
that there doesn't have
I
to be a
mean,
circus.
to be realistic, I mean, they're not at that stage yet. Um, Hopefully, at some point, they will get to reach that stage. We
And you
can't
want to know why?
we cannot compel people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, I was getting ready to say that I'm actually at this stage, and you want to know why? Well, people are going to
Why?
say I'm crazy about it, though, or we're crazy, though, is just because the Lord said so. And we have to be obedient to that. And He says that even if your quote unquote enemies or quote unquote ops were like that towards you, if they would actually like to seek peaceful closure and they truly mean that from the bottom of their heart, then yeah, come on up. Let's chit chat about what's going on. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, like I said, doesn't mean that we're going to reconnect like that, but it will say something good. But until they're ready to be at that stage, I'll be on standby.
Yeah.
But this is me working on behalf of our creator, not
Mhm.
myself, and not for
Yeah.
clout, not for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's obedience.
I think part of the problem that people have with the term forgiveness is that they automatically assume that the previous relationship is going to resume regardless, and that's not necessarily the case. Okay, you can forgive someone, but not restore to a prior relationship.
Of course not. like, let me tell you this. Like, I briefly spoke to my ex fiance that I had a son with like a couple
Hmm.
months ago. I spoke to her a
Yes.
couple months ago, and this is a woman whom, yes, me and her were super toxic. Me and her were clearly dealing with our own personal challenges that when you mixed them together, the results were super, super duper disastrous. It was just simply bad. But I told her straight to her face that I do have your back, support you and your endeavors in your life. I've let everything go, and I've even had to clean myself up too, and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. And
Hmm.
she took it pretty well. She was a bit caught off guard by me saying that. I could tell that she was,
Hmm.
but truth of the matter is, that was all done in obedience and humility and love. But can me and her ever be together again? No, I don't even want to.
Well, last year I spoke with my ex-wife for the first time in over 10 years. And to be perfectly honest, it took a while for me to get to the point where I was able to embrace a conversation. Good evening, embrace your curls. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Hey, embrace your curls.
Um, because it got very toxic towards the end. Um, Again, I made it perfectly clear, and I'm going to keep it saying it. We were both responsible for the breakup, so I'm not going to claim to be completely innocent. So she called to ask for forgiveness for her part, and I said, "Look, I don't harbor any ill will. We were both responsible for the divorce, and life is too short to bear a grudge."
Same. And even like when it comes to like the ex fiance whom I had the son with, I would actually allow her to follow me either on here or on Facebook or on TikTok. She could just click the follow button only. I would allow that. I don't know whether you would allow like would you like allow like your ex-wife to like click the subscribe button on here and watch your stuff? I wouldn't mind. I don't care if my ex fiance does. So I'll be like, well, I hope you enjoy it, and hey, I hope you get edified by it, though. But just please don't think that we're ever going to get back together. But I do
I mean,
respect.
she, I mean, she's more than welcome if she wants to subscribe. The only thing is, she does not speak much English, so therefore she may not get much of a benefit with my content. And now some of my content has been completely in Spanish. So, but if she wants to subscribe, I'm not going to stop her. I mean, hey, fine. I mean,
I'm not going to block my ex, so I mean, like if I were to see her like pop up on Facebook and she wants to like click follow button, yeah, I don't mind
yeah.
because I have already healed, man. Like our relationship, by the way, was a huge circus. Speaking about your title, and just to make sure that like we're
Yeah.
talking, you know, talking about stuff that's pertinent to your video's title, though. But it was a major circus, and so if she wants to come up, yeah, I'm not going to deny her.
Yeah, it's the same thing. If my ex-wife wants to hop on the panel, fine. Of course, I'll have to translate because she does not speak English. But as long as she keep it civil, fine. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be like, hey, yeah, soy Jordan y mucho gusto.
Yeah. Entonces,
That's
and
what
sí,
that's what I
entonces
would say if
sí.
maybe she were to come on now. But yeah.
I mean, now the interesting part, she did marry somebody else, but I mean, I just hope and I do hope things are working out in her marriage. Again, I
Same.
feel well. Just that it just didn't work. So
But yeah, I mean, I will
Oh,
be on.
before, let me just state that. One second.
No, you were talking
Let me
first.
just state that yeah. Let me just state that my brother from another mother, Giorgio, has his own YouTube channel where it's a lot of positive, Christ-centered content. So I ask that you show some love, check out his content, and the same thing applies to Embrace Your Curls. She is a non-mixed content creator that makes a lot of great content. So show some love and support these fine people.
We greatly appreciate that shout out. Thank you. But I was about to say is that, like Jose, it took a lot for me to say what I just said right now, because a few years ago, I would not have allowed that at all. I would have been absolutely not. And even at that time, I had actually blocked all of her social media pages. But now I needed a lot more healing, and I needed a lot more deliverance of my soul wounds during these times. So
Mhm.
now I would happily welcome her on here. You can follow, but please do not try to interpret that as us trying to get back together, because I am putting in boundaries in place, and it's going to have to be that way. But I still do wish you the very best with your life endeavors and with your recovering and your healing. But you have to respect my healing and my deliverance of my soul wounds during that time. So please do not look at that as an open door to come back into my life, because that's not going to ever happen.
Well, at one point, I had to block my ex-wife as well because it did get very toxic towards the end. And
Most divorces are very toxic.
I mean, look, I mean, it was toxic even before it. I mean, at one point, she actually asked my mother if I had someone on the side.
Like you must have like a concubine on the side, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like,
What? Like you're cheating? You're committing
yeah,
adultery?
it's like first of all, if you're going to make an accusation about cheating, you direct it towards me. You do not bring a member of my family into your stupidity.
You do know what that means, right? When a partner does that, though. I mean, I'm not saying that that's her right now, but maybe if we're going to speak in past tense, what she was like, that's usually is just a tactic to try to, turn your loved ones against you.
Yeah.
Like the person who does that, they could care less about your close friends and your close loved ones. They're just only trying to use and manipulate them just to fulfill some kind of evil desire rooted in going against you, canceling you.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
that whole
Well,
tactic is.
yeah.
Is it
Well,
just
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't think she appreciated the response that my mother gave her, which was
well,
no, but I wish he did.
well, yeah, because it was a very heated moment during that time. You and her were at a very vulnerable, toxic spot in your guys' marriage during that time. And so she doesn't care at all about your family, or she didn't at the time. So she's going to use people that she doesn't even really care much about, and have them go against you to fulfill her desire to control and manipulate the situation.
Yeah.
That's what that whole thing was about.
And of course, it backfired on her big time.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, most marriages, I mean, most divorces are bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the flesh, and demons are being granted legal rights to torment you too.
Yes.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I recall someone that I know that I've known for about 30 years. Unfortunately, she has the tendency of making bad choices regarding partners, and instead of allowing herself to heal, she'll jump immediately into another relationship, which means bringing in the emotional trauma and the baggage from the previous relationship into another relationship.
I mean, I know of somebody who is like that, and that kind of behavior is just rooted in her self esteem issue and her self respect issue, along with just the addiction to trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And she's made all of that stuff her identity.
And this person, which I'm not gonna say her name, also broke my heart. But I've moved past that.
Because you have a nice woman now.
Yes.
I
But
hope that you and her were able to talk about all this stuff, though, about everything that's been going on.
we were able to discuss what needed to be discussed. And like I said before, I don't wish my ex-wife ill. I wish her the best of everything. I do hope her marriage uh, does succeed. I'm not going to speculate further because that's not my place.
Right. Well, same case for me. Like I said, I'm easily reachable. You can't miss me. So when you guys are ready, no matter who you are, I'll be right here.
Okay.
I highly doubt you guys are going to do that. I doubt it, but I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting.
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Same. Like I was very surprised like when Hybrid defended me and you, and I did tell him straight up that despite what happened and everything, I would like to humbly say thank you.
Yeah.
So remember that.
Um, you know what? I'm sure that we were giving our haters a lot of connection fits that night.
Well, like I said, conflict resolver here, and my page is now a conflict resolution channel.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's going to really go down in a good way between you and Zacharias. Like I said, Don Armando is going to be my co-mediator too.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so can't wait.
One thing I realize is that I'm gonna have people that are gonna hate watch my content.
Well, they're going to hate watch me too. Hate watch all of us. And part of growing up is letting them do and think whatever they want to think and do about you.
Yeah. Well, look, I cannot control what they say or do. I can only control my response.
Exactly.
Okay.
You only can control how you want to respond and handle it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
But
I think this was an interesting topic. What is the circus? Because they hear people heard me use the term multiple times. I'm sure some people have some questions about what do I mean by the circus. Well, I mean, if you um, if you see the way individuals act, it if you're observant, it becomes self-evident.
that's right.
So,
Like, do you
is it?
when it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what's no, I was about to say is do you know anybody else in the YouTube sphere who happens to have beef with one another? Send them to George because it's going to be George the conflict resolution show. And no, it's not going to be no Jerry Springer type of stuff because I'm not going to tolerate that at all. You're going to be muted and muted if that happens.
Well, I mean, if I do,
Because, like I said, I'm going to inspire you guys to bring out the very best within you all.
Yeah.
But go on.
if I do come across anyone that has conflicts, I will make the suggestion. Whether they follow up, that's up to them.
But I'm really so happy, man, that you're willing to do this when that time comes. And
That's it.
Look what Irby said. Georgia, or you want to deal with the crazies? Well, man, it's just a divine calling to inspire other people to bring out the very best within themselves. Now, clearly, they don't have to listen to me, but I can at least help plant the seeds and just inspire them to be their very best. And that's what I'm going to do with Zacharias and Jose on my platform.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, it does also illustrate the type of relationship we have with God before we became born again.
What did Jesus say to Peter? Let me ask that question. He told Peter to forgive 77 times 7.
Yes.
What's so easy about that?
Well, that means eternally forgive.
Bingo. Like you
Okay.
said, does it mean hold hands and sing Kumbaya? No, but
No,
me and you know what it means. We get it.
it does, and it does not mean restoration. You can forgive a person and not have anything to do with the person again.
That's right. So to answer your question, well, not me. Irby didn't ask me a question, but just his statement alone. So Irby, the question is not the question, but the answer is yes. Yes. But on my page, they're gonna, contain themselves and humble themselves. Otherwise, they are not going to even come up.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up because my cyber daughter Denise is going to be on soon. So,
Mhm.
anything else you wish to add?
I pretty much spoke my piece and everything, and I can't wait for all this stuff to go down.
Yes.
Even
Well,
if you and your ex wanted to come up, I will for sure work something out between you and her.
okay. Well, I mean, I don't think she's active in social media. I could be wrong. I can't say because I haven't had any contact with her in months. Not because I didn't want to discuss with her, because she asked me a question regarding a legal matter, and I suggested, well, seek an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to dispense any legal advice and then she get misled and then next thing you know it, well, here we go again.
Understandable.
But I do appreciate you dropping by. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
And, all right,
Take care.
you too. So let me just give you my final thoughts. I think it was a productive stream. The whole purpose was to give a clear definition regarding what is the circus, which we did that. And the fact of the matter is, as long as you are able to interact in a mature way and able to take accountability for your actions and learn from past mistakes, you will not be part of the circus. Now, I will be live on my other channel tomorrow night at 9:15. I'm going to be talking about why there was a large number of Latinos who voted for Trump. So I'm just going to give you some insights regarding why that occurred. The bottom line is whatever you might feel, Donald Trump did a better job convincing enough people that he has solutions to the problems that we face. So, huge shout out to everyone in the chat, and a huge shout out to everyone watching in the clouds, and of course, playback and you do, do your thing, and let me just check. Okay, and of course, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, or the circus in this case, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro saying good night, take care, and peace.